Are you sick and tired of not seeing your net worth grow?
Yeah.
I know I was. So I challenged myself to stop doing 5 things to change the trajectory of my net worth and my financial path. Stick with me to the end and you'll have a set of things you too can kick to the curb. Let's go. Number 1, I stopped not having a plan. My money went wherever life pushed it, not really where I wanted it to go. And I used to treat my finances really passively. I didn't have any goals. I didn't really have any strategy. But once I made a plan, even just a rough one, my spending then had direction and my savings had an actual purpose. Developing a clear plan really helped me prioritize what mattered the most, not what was just urgent or shiny. This one is especially hard for me as over the years I've built the bad habit of just buying what I want when I want it, and breaking this habit has been hard and still is hard, but it's been healthy. Planning doesn't mean being rigid, it just means being intentional. You have a choice to make the right decisions or the wrong decisions, and excuses are invalid here. Own up to your past mistakes if you made them and move forward from today with making the right choices. Tracking progress became motivating for me, okay? Instead of feeling overwhelmed, I felt in control and I felt like I was managing finances and it was fun for once, which takes us directly into the second thing I stopped doing to grow my finances. I stopped thinking that managing finances is a drag. I used to avoid looking at my bank account almost like it was a horror movie. I believed that money stuff was either boring or stressful, and it turns out that's true if you look at it in the very short term. But finances are a long-term endeavor, and avoiding it will be way more stressful in the end. So I reframed in my mind what budgeting and tracking were as freedom tools and not as punishment. Okay, I made it fun. I thought about it all the time until my mindset shifted. I stopped thinking that I had to be a financial wizard. I just had to be aware and consistent. Also, automating some financial activities with tools made it seem like less of a chore and more of a game. So, like for example, I love spreadsheets, so I built one for tracking my budget and my net worth. And I fiddled with them until they did the stuff they wanted. And then I felt a sense of ownership over them and the content inside of them. And once I saw the results from checking in on my finances, then doing that daily became motivating and like a game. You know, how many categories could I keep at or under budget this month? It really did become fun. The third thing I stopped doing was overspending. I deserve it became an excuse that just sabotaged future me. Okay, I used to confuse treating myself with draining my wallet, and there's a big difference here because one leads to the other. I learned to separate wants from needs and pause before hitting buy now, which is so easy these days. So I've now learned to let something sit in the cart for a couple days before buying it, and usually I then decide that I don't really need it right now. And this is emotional spending, and it's a real problem. Boredom and stress for me lead me to want to buy stuff. Like I said, being able to quickly order stuff that shows up the same day or the next day is a huge challenge. You have to train yourself to walk away from the cart and cool down the emotional urge. So I started budgeting for fun so I could enjoy life more without guilt or debt. And this goes back to realizing that managing finances doesn't have to be a drag, and a more minimalist approach can help with this. Fewer things is generally better than having more stuff that's just meaningless stuff. Number 4, I stopped increasing debt. Debt isn't just something on your balance sheet or your net worth tracker. It's actually a weight that follows you around everywhere. It's that anchor that I've talked about before that's just dragging across the ocean floor, keeping you from really moving along financially. I used to justify debt as, well, everyone has it, I'll pay it off later, I need this and I need that now. And to be honest, like, I still have to talk myself down from a lot of purchase decisions that aren't wise, but that's okay. That's part of doing things the right way. And since I finally realized how many other things I couldn't do, like saving for retirement or investing, I have prioritized paying down debt aggressively. Also, paying the minimum monthly amount on, say, a credit card means that in some cases you could be paying more interest than the amount of the actual original debt. So I personally use the avalanche method to pay off the highest interest debt first. I think that is the most fiscally sound. And I stopped using credit as a crutch and started using it as a tool only when I could afford it. Okay, there are times where debt can work to your advantage, but even then, it's still a calculated risk and you have to be smart. But leveraging debt at a certain point is a financial wealth building, more advanced feature. But until you're at the point where you can use it instead of it using you, get rid of debt. Becoming debt-free doesn't just lead to financial freedom, it can be mental freedom too, okay? A weight lifted and a freedom, to like really live. The fifth thing I stopped doing was pretending that my future would take care of itself. That's future me's problem, is how you guarantee future you has problems. I didn't think about retirement or emergencies until it got to the point, more recently in my life that I really let the math of it sink in. And it really is a math problem. Okay, you want X amount of money across Y time frame. What do you have to do between now and the start of Y to reach X? What do you have to do to accomplish that? Once I finally understood that compound interest really rewards early action, but that I was missing out while pretending that everything was fine, or more importantly, that things would be fine somehow on their own, not magically, I guess, I realized that time is either your biggest asset or your biggest regret. Please don't have regrets about this. You want thankfulness that you acted now, not a pile of self-loathing that you didn't act now. I don't need to be rich to build wealth. I just need it to start. Taking care of future me started with one decision on one day, and it has snowballed from there. You too can do the same thing. That's it. 5 things you can quit doing today to see your net worth start to grow. What have you done to grow your net worth? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this content, hit those like and subscribe buttons. I'll see you next time.